I think BA said it best on the broadcast tonight. As the final out was made, he was like, thank goodness this one is over. Rarely to ever hear a broadcaster say that, but man, he echoed the sentiments of every Brewer fan out there watching that game last night on a number of different levels. That game needed to be over quick. And I even put on Twitter, I said, man, if this was a 2 hour and 10-minute game, or they called it after the mercy rule, the 10-run rule, like they do in softball, I would have been good with it. Brewers lost 15-1. But the story in this one, Willy Adames got hit with a ball off the bat of Brian Anderson in the dugout. We'll tell you about that and his status. And he was taken to the hospital. We'll give you an update on that. What Craig Counsell told the media after the game. All coming up here in a little bit. This is Locked On Brewers. I'm Chuck Freeman, your host. Thanks for joining us. We do these every day after every game. It is a weekend version, so this one's going to be a little shorter, as always. Like I said, I'm Chuck Freeman. Follow me on Twitter at Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND, morning sports anchor at 1310 WIBA in Madison. And I've been covering the Brewers for over 40 years for AP Radio. Yeah, I mean, they lost 15-1, but more importantly is Willy Adames. Hopefully things are going to be okay. Craig Counsell talked about the status of Adames after the game. Now, early in this game, Brian Anderson hit a line drive that went into the dugout and hit Willy Adames. He left on his own, was taken to the hospital for tests and scans and all that, and he'll stay overnight in the hospital. The good news, there was nothing broken, no fractures. He was alert. Very good sign there. He's going to go on the IL for the concussion. And that's it. But as of late Friday night, that's the information that we have. Alert, no fractures, going to go on the injured list, and he's going to stay overnight in a local hospital in Milwaukee. So, yeah, that was good news. Then you could tell from the broadcast, from the players, after that happened, as is human nature, nobody was quite with it. All right. Lost 15-1. Had to use Mike Brasso in this game for a third time in 11 games. But one, you just are going to throw out the videotape. But I know the Brewers have been through a couple of games like this already this year. But in this case, you can't bash them. You can't throw dirt on them or anything like that, because at top of mind is Willy Adames and his health. And Brian Anderson, the player Brian Anderson, was visibly upset, as were players, as was Freddie Peralta. Peralta did not pitch well, and Peralta is a good friend of Willy Adames. 2 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs were earned of the 10 that he had given up. The Giants put up 3 runs in the second and 7 in the third. It was 10-1 at that point. This game was long over. J.D. Davis was the big star of the night, 3 for 6, a home run. And Peralta, just a bad outing. And, again, when that happens to a good friend of his, you just kind of wipe it away. I'm not making excuses or anything like this, but I think in human nature, in a baseball game like this, you lost the game. But more importantly, hopefully, Willy's going to be okay and work his way back onto the team. Again, the good news there, no fractures, alert, overnight stay for precautions, and he's going to go on the injured list, and they'll miss him, obviously. He was struggling, but they're going to miss him around the team while he recovers. He's the heart and soul of this team. Willy is. He is the one responsible for the cheesehead donning of the players. And yeah, he was struggling this year, but I think we all had faith that Adames is going to turn this thing around with the team. But he is the lifeblood of the Milwaukee Brewers in that clubhouse, and it certainly affected the team tonight. So our prayers, and we wish Willy a speedy recovery, because the Brewers are going to need him, and more importantly, for his health, that he returns and makes it back and rejoins the team very soon. But that was it. Mike Brasso, I said, pitched in this game, and it was just an overall bad night. We're going to look ahead to the starters coming up on Saturday as the Brewers try to get back on the winning track. Bulldogs. I'm sorry, Bulldogs. Bulldogs is the name of my son's hockey team. Birddogs. Birddogs. Terrific clothes, shorts. Also the pants, the golf pants. I've been telling you about Birddogs for the last 2 weeks here. A new sponsor here on Locked On Brewers. Stretchy fabric that makes you look really good, fits you just right, give you the freedom to wear the shorts or pants at a golf course, a meeting, if you're going out and hanging out with friends. These Birddogs, the shorts are very comfortable. They have a lining in them. The pants, like I said, I've worn them on the golf course several times. They are about as comfortable as golf pants you can get. And whether it's casual, business, these pants are perfect for any occasion. And right now, go to birddogs.com, locked on, /Locked On MLB, and you enter the promo code Locked On MLB. They'll throw in the free custom Birddogs Yeti Style tumbler with every order. Go to birddogs.com, Locked On MLB, enter the promo code Locked On MLB. They'll throw in the free custom Birddogs Yeti Style tumbler with every order. All right, we'll come back and take a look at Saturday's matchup, a Saturday afternoon one, the first one of the year. We'll talk about that next here on Locked On Brewers. It's the Saturday Shorty here on Locked On Brewers. We do these 7 days a week. Weekends a little shorter. Brewers lost 15-1. Willy Adames, more importantly, went out of this game after getting hit with a line drive while in the dugout. And you least expect it in the dugout there. And they have precautions in that dugout, just like they have precautions to protect the fans. They have precautions there. But Willy got hit, and Willy was taken to the hospital, as I mentioned. And Willy is going to stay overnight in the hospital. No fractures. He is alert. He is going to have to go on the injured list. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen to every day. All you everydayers out there listening to us on Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Follow us on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Also, getting us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell there. That'll alert you every time we bring in up an episode. And, of course, on all the platforms as well. Google, Spotify, and of course, Apple as well. All right, let's tell you who the pitchers are going to be. Logan Webb is on the mound for the Giants. A 3:10 start. Oh, by the way, catch every pitch of the Brewers' hometown broadcast, SiriusXM, on the SXM app. Search Brewers and Giants. 3:10. We're going to start these Saturday afternoon games because we're getting in summer. We're going to have more of these Saturday afternoon games because of TV. 3:10 with that first pitch. Catch every game on the Brewers' hometown broadcast, SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Brewers. Logan Webb on the hill, 3-5. The guy has pitched deep into games. Don't look at his record. Look at his ERA. His ERA is 2.91, 6, 7, 8 innings in many of his starts this year, giving his team plenty of innings out of the bullpen. Last time out against Miami, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs back on May 20th. Corbin Burnes on the hill, 4 days rest. Burnes, of course, gave up the 4 home runs on Monday night. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days rest for Corbin Burnes. And that was the game where he said, I pitched pretty well despite giving up the 4 home runs. And we've talked about that as well. But he'll get another chance to get back on track. And, after some games this year, the Brewers have been blowing out like this. They've usually bounced back and then resilient and got the W. They got Burnes going. Let's hope Burnes can come back and give them a win coming up because they need one. Got to get back on track. Got to keep playing. Train doesn't stop. Got to keep on playing these games, win or lose, and with injuries or not. The Brewers certainly piling up injuries, and the Willy Adames injury. Just add this to the list. The pitching list is growing, and now the Adames on the baseball front. Add the Adames injury to a host of injuries the Brewers have been suffering from as of late. We'll come back to wrap it up and look ahead and tell you about a couple other things next when we continue on Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. Rocket Money users. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps you lower your bills all in one place. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions. Manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. They're going to help you find subscriptions, whether you're paying for print magazines, you're paying for something on the internet, viruses, something on your cable or your satellite services. It's going to alert you and help you could look at your spending and see where you're spending money on. It's a really, really good way to go. rocketmoney.com/lockedonmlb. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Back to wrap it up after this. All right, guys. Sorry to be so down on this broadcast, but understandably, it's just tough doing a broadcast and after seeing a player leave a game the way Willy did early in this one, Willy Adames. So again, our prayers are with him that he bounces back. And the Brewers, 15-1, 27-24 now in the season. The Cardinals did get beat. Jackson Chourio dominated Twitter tonight with his home run. He had been slumping, but he had a walk-off home run for Biloxi tonight. A big blast. And it was great to see Jackson. They talked about him on the broadcast as well tonight. So that was good. Ethan Small also called up. He was talking before the game about how he feels less pressure pitching in relief than being a starter. So he came in relief and pitched in this game tonight, but they sent Tyson Miller, who gave the 4 runs in the 8th inning on Thursday night. They sent him down, but Ethan Small did pitch. I'm going to give you the pitching line for Ethan Small for this game that he got into. And the Brewers, again, they used Pagero 2 2/3. Ethan Small, he did struggle. 9 hits, 5 runs, and 3 earned. 3 innings pitched. 3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks. And Mike Brasso also pitched in this one. So, forget about this one and move on. And all the best for our shortstop, Willy Adames. So, this is going to be one of the toughest games of the year. Maybe one of the toughest lockdown Brewers will have all year, because it's hard to get excited about anything. The way the whole night went, that game could not end fast enough. And we're going to check out. We'll talk to you tomorrow after the game. Again, afternoon game. Should be a great weekend to get out there to AmFam Field this weekend. I will be out there on Sunday afternoon, be in the club level section. Looking forward to that. And, of course, you catch the Brewers and Giants at 3:10 coming up on Saturday. Catch every pitch of the Brewers' hometown broadcast, Sirius XM, on the SXM app. Search Brewers. That's going to do it for the show today. I'm Chuck Freeman. Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.